Okay, let's have the summary of the last class, what we saw. Okay, last class I did some practicals on which one? Web application. So let's see the same thing, what has happened. Say we wrote our web application, correct? And our web application, we tried to develop a web application. Okay, so my web application name was called as Zero on My App, and I told you while developing a web application, Sun has set the standard for developing web applications. For all your web projects should follow what? This folder structure only. Zero on My App, and inside that you should have what? WebINF, classes, lib. This is the folder structure. Luckily for us, this folder structure was created by whom now? Eclipse. So like if you don't use the editors, good editors like Eclipse, what happens? You might go on to create the folders and you might end up in giving wrong folder names and all that. So it might you might get errors, understood? So that's the reason what we do, we use Eclipse. Eclipse is supporting you a lot for developing what? Web applications. So this folder structure gets created. This is very strict folder structure, and if you don't code your web project using this folder structure, you will not get the output only. Okay, so luckily for us that problem has been solved and it has been done by Eclipse. Now see, that folder structure is the specification set by Sun. Sun is the supreme person here who sets the specification. It is implemented by server vendors and it is used by we developers. Okay, vendor means server vendor here. Okay, this is a triangle. Slowly you'll understand, but definitely you'll understand. It's like we are all like a family. We can't live without each other. Understood? The Sun, the vendor, and the developer. All are like a family here. Fine. So now let's see. We followed the same specification. Sun is telling that to what? Both the people. One is to the server vendor as well as to the application developers. So that is why we are learning this, and we are going to code it using this particular folder structure. So vendors are also implementing the same. Implementing the same means when we put our application, put it into their server, okay, they'll also look for these particular folder names only. So the idea is what you know. Why did someone come up with this standard is, see, they have got one standard. What is that? One is the folder structure standard. Second is the API what you are using, like extends HTTP servlet, HTTP servlet request. We use some APIs, understood, our classes and interfaces. It is a standard. It is because of this standard we are having comfortableness in coding today. Earlier what was the problem? One vendor was giving his own standard and his own API. It was very difficult for us to learn and code. But now there is one standard. So you can learn this, write your web application, okay, and deploy it in any server you want. Finally, this is what has happened today. Okay, and here, after writing application, I put it into the server. Which server we are using now? Apache Tomcat. This is what we did. So this is one part. And I have written it very clearly here, folder structure of web application while deploying in JEE server. This is the folder structure. So now this is what we did, and we put it into the server. And one more thing, see, I was talking about container in the previous class. What is a container? A servlet means we have seen three containers are there, but specifically we are working on servlet container now. So servlet container is nothing but what? It's a special runtime environment. Okay, so container, this is a very important word. It's a definite interview question. Slowly you'll understand this also, but definitely you'll understand. Container is a special runtime environment. Special runtime environment which has the implementation. Servlet container I'll write. I write this as servlet container. One second. Servlet container. Servlet container is a special runtime environment which has the implementation of Servlet API. Vendor is implementing this. All the classes and interfaces present in API, he is implementing this. So that's what's container. And from now on we'll start seeing this container only. You don't have to worry. So inside the JEE server you have got the implementation. This is called as Servlet container. Similarly, the implementation of JSP API has been done. That is called as JSP container. So right now we'll focus only on Servlet container. So this is the container inside that. So this is the entire architecture of the JEE server. So everything is ready-made for us. Only what we are doing is, right now if you focus, they are just asking us to write our web application, put it into the server. That's it. Everything is ready-made for us. Understood? And to code also I got powerful editors like what? Eclipse. So that is the support what developers are getting, and today because of all this support, the life of the developer is very comfortable. You don't have to worry only. So this is one side. Once you write your code and put it into the server, next what is going to happen? The clients will start making requests to that application now. So this is what you did. See here? Now this is, we are coming to the other side now. That part is over. Okay, we are coming to the other side, the clients. Who are the clients? The browsers. The browsers are client to your web application. Understood? So they type, they open up and type HTTP localhost. This is the URL they'll be typing. I typed yesterday. Okay, HTTP localhost 8090.01 myapp/hello. This is the URL. So when you make this request, the localhost, look at the same computer, connects to 8090. 8090 is nothing but what? One port number. And in that port, Tomcat is running. So it will connect to that Tomcat, and in Tomcat it will go, see now it's connected to the server first. Now once it is connected to the server, now the request will be handed over to the something called as container. Understood? So that's how the communication will start off. Now to do the communication, there is something called as HTTP protocol is used. So the communication between the client and the server happens using a protocol called as HTTP. The full form of HTTP is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. That in depth I'll be telling you very clearly in the next class. You don't have to worry about it. Okay. So the client makes the request using HTTP request, and the server gives back the response using HTTP response. That's on communication protocol. Understood? We'll discuss about that in the next class. Don't worry. So now see, once the client makes the request, okay, to the server hands over the request to the container. So it's finally the container which is executing your code. It's a special runtime environment. Done? So the server hands over the request to the container. One socket connection will be established now. Between whom? The client and the server, and socket connection will be established. What is socket connection now? Virtual connection established between the client and server. It is connected. Now the control is handed over to the container. Now start seeing the flow. Once the server hands over the control to the container, what will the container do? It looks for the application by name my app. That's how the flow will start now. So once it has reached my app, immediately the control will go from what? My app to WebINF. This is the flow how it goes now. So from WebINF, okay, it starts moving towards web.xml to resolve what? URL pattern. Because it knows now the URL pattern is hello. It should execute something. Okay, so that URL pattern will be identified here, and it will identify the class for that URL pattern. Once it is identified, once the class is identified, now it's very clear. All our classes are kept in what? All our classes are kept what? In classes folder. Straight away the control moves here. Now the class will be loaded. Which one? First select or second select, whatever you have written, it will be loaded. Object of that will be created. Understood? And it will execute. Finally, yeah, you are doing the output. So once you do the output, okay, what is the output you are doing? Means pw.println, you are doing some HTML output. Yes. So that pw.println will print from the container to the socket. That one extra step will happen now. This is the last step. 6. It will print from container to socket. It's a HTML file now. Understood? The duty of println is to print from socket to the server socket of the server. Once it is printed, now it is a huge file. Now that huge file, with the help of what? TCP IP. IP ensures it is reaching the correct destination. TCP ensures that the huge file is broken into small packets, moved via network error free, and once reaching the destination, it will be rearranged and given it as single unit. Now any browser in the world can interpret and display it. Okay, you can use any browser, Internet Explorer, Chrome, Firefox, any browser in the world, you can use it now. So this is where TCP IP will come into picture. Are you following now? So means data from client to server will be going via TCP IP, even from server to client it will be coming via TCP IP. Means that's the communication, that files will be transmitted like that. So this is the whole story of what you saw yesterday. So you understood the architecture. See, I am teaching you concepts, not output. Once you get the concept now, one fine day you learn coding. You don't have to worry. You might get errors here and there. And I show you what all errors you might have got yesterday while coding. Okay, and I'll rectify all that problem for you. But this is the whole concept. So I'm teaching you the concepts of how a web application is getting developed. But fine, you can see this huge architecture. In this huge architecture, if you want to develop a web application, hardly what are you doing? You are just writing 2 files and putting into the server in the proper order. That's it. So developing a web application has been done so easy today. Developing web application is made so easy because of what? Servlet technology. If Servlet technology was not there, what would have happened? We couldn't have done this. So the technology is giving you what support now? What all support is technology? Servlet technology giving you input-output support, communication support, networking support, some few things we saw. So all this is the built-in support what you are getting. Rest all is taken care. So almost all, if you see 99% everything is ready-made here. Just 1% you have to write. And what is that you know? Your domain logic or business logic. That is it. Completely you can develop your web application. So slowly I'll start building my application now. Okay, and I will start understanding. And one more thing, the scope of this, what you have to understand is 95% of India, that means 95% of the companies in India are working on either web applications or distributed applications. This is the scope of openings you have. If you are in a web application domain, 95% of the companies in India are working for these kind of application. First we'll start off with web, then we'll enter. We'll see what is enterprise application. So we are developing these kind of applications only. So this is your opportunity of getting job. So just you have to learn some few technologies here and automatically you are in a good job with good career. Understood? And out of 95%, 80% of the projects are on Java, around 15% will be on what? PHP, Joomla, Python, .NET. So all are giving the same solution to you. But Java has got a wide scope. Everybody are doing the same. You do a PHP application or .NET application, everybody is trying to do the same. So everybody are trying to use the same support. They have their own standard, everything. But the advantage in Java is, you know what? You know C syntax, so you can learn Java easily. That is one advantage. So Java syntax, you are comfortable. There's no problem with that. One more thing, there are a lot of libraries in Java. So any problem you have, you got a lot of libraries to code also. That is why Java becomes a very dominating language while developing your application as compared to other languages and other vendor support. PHP, Joomla and all, you don't get that much support, but from Java I got plenty of support. So this is the whole summary. So you can pick anything now. End of the day in company when you're going, what you're doing? Web application. Who support means which vendor will you follow? Whether you will follow Sun vendor or Microsoft vendor or small time vendors, you decide. Done? So this is the whole story here. Shall I clear this now? So now you would have quoted yesterday's program. Okay, I will show you the mapping. Last thing, one doubt you would have got is in mapping. I'll clarify that doubt today. Automatically you'll start understanding, and do not worry about all that because every day I want to code web application from now on, and all your doubts will start getting cleared. Okay, as you go on coding one by one example. I'll give plenty of examples. So first I'll talk about the errors which you would have got. Okay, so I'll show all the errors what you would have got. Are you clear this diagram now? Shall I clear this? So we coded our application in Eclipse, yes or no? So we coded our application in Eclipse. See this? I'll open up Eclipse. So this was a project what we coded. So when we coded, it is in what? D drive, right? When we coded, it is in D drive. So what application you code, finally you have to put it into what? Server. In Tomcat, we put it in web apps. If you put your application into web apps, no, finished, it is deployed. Deploying is a process of what? Putting an application into the server. Simple. So we did it. How did you do? See this. You have to say, 1 second. First let me delete if it is there. So yesterday we had deployed, no? See this, it is there. I'll delete this first. Okay, now see how I deploy. Deployment is means you have coded now. You have finished coding. From here you have to put it into what now? Server. So how do you do it? Select it, right click, export, var, next, browse. The destination will be what? Web apps. Means I'll go again. C drive, Apache Tomcat, web apps. That's it. So if you go there and say save, finish. So now you can see there. In here got the myapp.var. Done. So next you have to start your server. So C drive, Apache Tomcat. What is the server doing now? You have to start now. Bin startup.bat. See, as soon as I start the server, you can see there my app is getting, folder is getting created. Earlier it was not there. So now your application has been deployed. Earlier it was not there, no? So fine. Now what will I do now? Make the request. What is the URL you will make now? http://localhost:8090/01 my app is the application what you got /hello. That's it. I got the output. So simple it is. Hardly 2 files you wrote for writing what? One web application. Everything is ready made here. Understood? So if I make a request for hi, that will execute. Means if you want to execute, see these are Java, these two are what? Java files. And these two Java files, if you want to execute, you have to compulsory make the request from what? Browser only. If the client makes a request only, then only your Java program will execute. Which one? First solid and second solid. So these are called as, that's why, server side Java programs. Until and unless the request comes from the browser, these two files will never execute. So you have to make a request from the browser only then these two will execute. On that one, server side they are executing. Clear? Yes. Now the URL, let's see this now. What is the URL you got now? See, this is the URL. Correct. Either hello or what you are typing. Hi. That's it. So hello will execute what? First solid. Let me copy paste it. Hello will execute first solid and hi will execute second solid. Very simple. So this is the whole story here. And how the mapping works. Now look at the mapping carefully. So if I type in the URL, okay, if I type in the URL hello, how does the mapping work? If the URL pattern is, you know the flow now, I gave the flow now, how the flow is going. It will come to server, from the server it will be handed over to the container what it will do, it will go to my app to web.inf to web.xml. So if it is URL pattern is hello, it has to execute the solid by name what? ABC. Now it will start searching all the solids. You would have got all the solids at one place now. So it will start searching the first one. Yes, it finds it and it will execute what? First solid. Similarly, if you have got if your URL pattern is hi, it has to execute the solid by name XYZ and it will execute second solid. This is the flow now. Are you clear? So this is the flow. Remember one thing here, always your name and name should be same. It is a simple approach I will tell you now. This name and this name should be same. That is one thing. Other thing would be the class name and this would be the URL pattern. It's very simple mapping. This will be the URL pattern, got it? And these two would be the name. Name and name should be always same and this will be the solid class. Means quite simple. If the URL pattern is hello, it should execute the solid by name ABC, which is the solid by name ABC, this one, and the class related to ABC is first solid. You are given a name. That's how the mapping works. Simple mapping. Done? Fine. So let me now start showing you the errors, what you would have got. Okay, the first error you would have got is 404 and that is quite common, you'll keep getting it. The only reason why you are getting 404 error is mapping problem. No other problem. Understood? You have written all your code correctly. So let me try to show you what is that 404 error. Clear? I deliberately cleared it, but I am creating it deliberately, but it is a mistake done by you. So see what is the problem you have done. See, you would have coded second solid. Example. I am showing how you got that 404 error now. Okay. So you have got why you get the 404 error. So this is second solid now. See this. I have coded second solid. What I will do now is, I will not do the mapping. Are you following now what I am doing? Assume that I have not done the mapping now. Coding I have done. Understood? So I made the changes in my application. So what I have to do now? I will deploy it again. So you deploy it again now. Now to deploy now, any changes done, what you should do? Delete the old one, deploy the new one. So I will deploy it now. See this. Export var. Fine. So once you do it, you can see it is extracted also. Fine. Now let's make the request. Open a new browser. I have told you already. Whenever you make any changes, open the new browser and make the request. So we are making the request for what now? Hi. Correct. But fact is, you are not having what? The mapping only. So if it is, you are making the request, control is going correctly, HTTP localhost 8090, okay, then what, my app, everything perfect. In my app it will go to what now? WebINF. In WebINF it will go to what? Web.xml. Web.xml is trying to map now. What is that it is finding here? For hi, there is no URL pattern called as hi only. Now how can it execute second solid? So this is one of the reason why you will get, if your mapping is not correct, you will start getting this 404. It's quite common, you will keep getting this. And it is telling you very clearly also. See, the requested resource is not available. You are asking for a resource called as hi. There is no resource called as hi there. Very clearly it tells. Clear this? Okay. Then one more thing. Let's see this. Now I'll put it back. Which one? I'll put it back now. So now you deploy. See this. The same request, you'll get the output. Again, what you have to do? Shut down the server. Okay, then what? Delete it. Then again, deploy. Start the server. Server is started. Now you can open new browser, but close this. I'm copying the URL. Open the new browser. Make the request. See, the same hi request only now is executing clearly. Yes or no? Only reason is what? Mapping. So if you get 404 error, check mapping properly. That's it. See now one more thing. Supposingly I type like this HEHA. Now I'll make the request for hello. HELLOO. Double O I'm giving. Okay, that URL is again not there now. Make the request 404. What is the URL I'm typing? Double O, hello I'm typing. Something like that. So anything mismatched like this, you'll start getting what? 404 error. Understood? So this is one problem always you'll keep getting. Just check for the URL, name. If all these things are correct, it will work. That's all. URL, name. Means name should always be same. URL pattern is what the client is going to make the request. Last comes select class. That's it. Fine. Are you clear the 404 error? Next. See one more error I'll show you. Sometimes I told you yesterday or in the last class, it's better you type what? Sorry, it's better you copy paste the class names. It's better you copy paste. I told you. Fine. By chance if I don't copy paste and if I type, I'm telling you your errors. This is a mistake what you do. I'll make capital S as small s. Actually the name of the first select is what? See here, first select, S is caps there. In first select, F is caps. Okay, I'll do one thing. F and S both are caps. But I'll typing here, I'll make the mistake of typing it as small case. Understood? So it is highly case sensitive now. So there is no class by name what? Java is highly case sensitive. There's a difference between capital class hello and small class hello. Huge difference is there. Understood? So that's the reason what happens. Same difference will come out here now. Okay. So now you have given the name here. What is that? First select. This is the name of the class. But here what did I give? In small case. If you type, these mistakes will happen. Now let's see. Again I'll deploy it. What is the error you'll get? You'll understand. Fine. Again you can see in web apps. Not shut down the server, no problem. It will work sometimes. It's not mandatory you have to shut down the server. Sometimes if you are not able to delete it, then you shut down. Understood? If you are not able to delete it, now you'll get mistakes. You follow the same steps. What I gave yesterday. What are the steps? Shut down the server, okay, and all that. But sometimes it will work. You don't worry about that. Now see this. So now what is this one now? I have to make the request as what? Hello now? That first select name I have changed. 404. I'm not getting 404 error now. I'm getting what error? 500 error. Because what? See, mapping is happening here. Perfectly mapping is happening. For URL pattern, hello. ABC. Fine, everything fine. But it's not finding the class by name what? First select. So that is why you got this error. What error? See, error instantiating servlet class, first servlet. It did not find the dot class file only. Understood? If you want clarity on that, now see, I'll show you. If you go to C drive, it is searching. See here, it has gone. C drive, Tomcat, web apps, my app. In my app, WebINF. In classes, com dot, cluster dot. Okay, what is the name of the class here? First servlet dot class. Understood? So in the server you have deployed it with this name. So that is why you will get this error now. What error? 500 error. So these are the two errors you will keep consistently getting. But if you follow what I have told, you will never get this error. It's only a mapping problem. Done? And gradually as you keep coding, these errors will be resolved for you. You don't have to worry about this. So done with your errors? Hardly 2 errors you will get. One is 404 and the other one would be 500 error. 500 error means resource is found. URL is found, but the class is not there. Class is not there. URL is there, no, web.xml. Hello is there, ABC, but this is not there. Done? You will understand these errors, you don't have to worry about that. So fine, this is how the coding happens now. Done? So now let's continue coding more web applications. Then you'll get more control over this subject. So I'll go with the second assignment today. Okay, I'll go with the second assignment today, and then we'll see how to develop a still more bigger application. Slowly start off now. See, now I'll give an assignment to you. The assignment would be, just 1 second, I'll close all the folders here. See, this is the assignment. I'll give it to you now. Write a web application to verify username and password. So yesterday we were printing just hello world. Okay, clearly understand the requirement. First I'll make you understand the requirement. Clearly I'll make you understand the requirement. Then I'll start typing. Because until and unless you understand the requirement, you cannot type only. Understood? So first clearly understand it. So this is your assignment now. Write a web application to verify username and password. Done? So that is the thing now. Hard coded I had written. Hard coded means, I'll make you understand this now. See here, this will be the program now. We'll write a web application like this. First request when you make, okay, you'll get back the response. And in the response, please enter details. Something like this you can give, one message. Enter name. In box you can give enter password, and you are going to log in. Clearly understand the requirement. This is the requirement. Understood? So now this is when you make the first request, you should get this. This is first request. And this is first response. So again when you enter and submit this, make the request, you should get back a page by telling welcome or either welcome or not welcome. Means if you enter, I'll be going with this now. If I enter Ravi and if I enter the password as Amog, okay, if I enter it as Ravi and Amog, fixed value, okay, Ravi and Amog. If I enter Ravi and Amog, it should tell me welcome. If I give any other name and password, it should say not welcome. Now just understand the concept here. We are writing this program without database. We are writing this program without database. Next we'll be working with database. Understood? So that's why I told hard coded. We'll be checking with some hard coded value here. So here, this is the output I want. Clearly understand the requirement first. Coding will come up. Understood? So here see, what happens is, if this is your requirement now, you have to write, in fact, you should have two files here. Yes or no? One file when you make the request. One file when you make the request should display you what? This one. Okay, again when you enter the values and submit, another file should be there to execute the logic and give back the response. You need two resources now. One file which will just give the plain display, and the next request when you submit and give the value should tell welcome or not welcome. So this is the whole story here. So how will you do it now? So let's see this. This is the request now. Here having, yes, 1 second. So in the server side now, you should have two resources. This will be your server now, and this is your client. So you'll have one file here. one file you have to have. Okay, and here also you should have one more file, same. Okay, two files you have to have now. So in this file, what is this file going to do when you make the request? Simply it will display what? Please enter name, please enter password. That's all it is going to display. More than that it will not do anything. So this file only has to do the simple display. So when you want to do simple displays now, that is like yesterday, like hello world, understood? So that time it's better you go for HTML only. Now you'll understand, today's class you'll understand the difference between HTML and servlet. Okay, or when you use HTML, when you use servlet. That difference you'll understand also, and you'll also very clearly understand when to use both of them. Okay, so here I'll use plain HTML file, login.html. So when you go for HTML files, when you want to only display, used for only display, that's it. Means you'll not write any logic here. Okay, but here I have to write logic. The values are coming now. What? Name and password are coming. So now if it is Ravi and Amok, I should write what? Welcome. Else I should write what? Not welcome. So here you can't write logics with HTML. You cannot write logics with HTML. HTML is only used for presentation. So you need a programming language. So obviously I'm going to use a programming language called as Java here. So we'll go with Java now. So that's it. So I'll give this name as something like login servlet. Any name you want to give, but it's a Java file. It's a Java file. So what will your Java file do now? See this very clearly. Collect input values. Correct? First step. This is what you have to do. You have to collect the input value. You have to collect the input values first. Then next step, what you have to do? Verify username and password. Then third step is display welcome or not welcome. So this is what we are supposed to write now. First understand concept, what you are supposed to do. What web application? I need a web application, but what should my web application do? That you understand. And according to that, I'll get the output. So first, here we'll go with hard-coded style. In the next examples and all that, we'll be connecting to what now? Database. That will also happen. First you understand with this hard-coded style. Okay. So get the grip onto servlet technology, then we'll do that. It's not a problem. Are you clear with this? So now see, one HTML file is coming up now. One more HTML file is needed now. So according to our previous folder structure, okay, I gave you the folder structure. Now what was the folder structure I gave you? See, this was the folder structure I gave you. It would be, now today I'll give the name as 0 to simple app. Any name you want to give. Like this we'll go on developing our web applications. 0 to simple app. In 0 to simple app, I'll have one more folder today called as HTML here. Okay, rest all folder structure will continue. There is no change. There is no change in your folder structure. WebINF. Then what? Classes. Then what? Lib. Then what? Web.xml. So this will be the folder structure now. So as more files get added, you'll start understanding this folder structure. But this is the basic folder structure. WebINF, classes, and all this basic folder structure. Are you clear? Fine. Now, so I'm going to write this login.html. First, I'll write it and show you which one. Both the files, login.html and Java. This both file I'll write it and show it to you. Theory wise, I'll explain it to you. After making you understand theory wise, then I'll go into practicals. Are you clear with the requirement now? The requirement is over now. So we have to go with what? Coding. So that coding I'll do first. I'll write it on board and show it to you. Then I'll be going on coding and showing it to you. I'll clear this now. So two files. One would be the HTML file. Oh, sorry. Yeah. See, this HTML file is there now in the first request. What is it? Yeah, I forgot to tell you that. Okay, please enter name, password. Yeah, we're just writing it simple now. You clearly understand the scenario here. Yeah, you understood the requirement. So either it should print what? Welcome or not welcome. So this is the first request. And this is first response. This would be second request. And this would be second response. So in this example, you'll understand navigation. How the navigation will go on. Clear? See this. Initially, this is what you have to do even in Gmail and all that. Okay. First what you do? You type the URL. See http://localhost colon 8090 slash 02 simple app, because that's the application name today. In 02 simple app, see, for HTMLs we don't do mapping. Please understand the concept here. We don't do mapping for HTML, we only do mapping for Java files. We will not do mapping for HTML. So it is kept here now. So how do you make a request for HTML now? Clearly see this, 02 simple app slash HTML slash login.html. This is how you will make the request now. This is your URL now. This will be your URL. Once you make a request to this URL, see, first request, what will happen now? See the URL, localhost, it will connect to what? It will look in the same machine. It will go to 8090, port number 02 simple app, means it's connected to the server. Now it will be looking in for the application by name 02 simple app. In 02 simple app, it will go to what? HTML. It will go to HTML. In HTML, it will be searching for what? Login.html. It will be searching for login.html and it will give back the response to you. Fine, it will display it. Done? Now understand the navigation. So once the user types the URL, next time he will not be typing the URL, no? Next time he will not type the URL. What he will do? Blindly, he will type the name and password and he will be doing what? Submitting it. That's it. Login. More than that, he will not do anything. How do you log into Gmail? www.gmail.com. After that, are you bothered to see the URL? No, you forget the URL now. You will only be looking into the screen, enter name, password and all the options. So you just go on clicking now. So the URL will be typed only for the first time. Okay, and then you will start entering your values, and depending on what you enter, submit, in the server side your program should get executed. So you'll see this. So here you get a clear grip of how the navigation happens in an application from one file to another file, how you keep moving. So there are a lot of concepts in this example. Don't see this example as what? Output. Actually, I always go on teaching you concepts. This is the whole idea. So clear this? So first I'll be typing that. When I make the request, first request, it will come now and I'll enter. Let's see. When you make the request, what will happen, and all this flow we'll understand very clearly. I'll clear this now. So I've taught you HTML. Let's see how to write the HTML code now. So this will be HTML code now. HTML body bg color is equal to width. Any color you want, you give. Then inside body, use one tag called as form. This one tag. So this is a new tag what I am teaching you today. Which one? Called as form tag. So this tag has an attribute called as action. For this I have to give some value. I'll give it in a minute. Just hold on. Two values I have to give. Fine. And I'll be telling it. Method is equal to some value I have to give. So I'll fill those values. Hold on. So but this is the tag. Form is the tag. What is the concept here? Action is the attribute. One more attribute of form tag is method. Fine. So now inside form I'll go with you can start writing your HTML code now. Something like welcome, something you can write, welcome, then next, or please enter your details, something like that you can write, please enter your details, then next, if you want clear alignment, use table, tr, td, enter name, enter your name, input type is equal to text, name is equal to NME, close TD, close TR, one more TR1, in that TD, enter your password. slash td, one more td, input type is equal to password, name is equal to pwd, a close form, close body, close HTML, and this is your login.html. You'll be putting it into the HTML folder now. Clear? How to close the table? Yeah, close the table. All the times. I'll go ahead and show you anyway. So your HTML file is ready. Perfect. So this will be stored in this particular thing. Now, see, after you know the flow now. What is the flow? You are going to make a request for this. As soon as you make the request for this, see this. Very clearly understand this. Yes, this will be your client and this will be the server. I am writing it small here, but I'll show it to you very clearly. See, this is the output you'll be getting. What is the URL you'll be typing? HTTP localhost, and you'll make the request for this login.html file which is there in the server. So this is the display you'll be getting here. I am writing it here. See this. Enter your name and you'll be writing enter your password. If you execute this, you'll get this screen here, and also you'll have the login button. Enter details, or what is that? Please enter details. So this is the screen you'll be getting now. Everything is fine here. Okay. Only this much I'll take. So now see. Here what has happened, you have got two boxes. Okay, now I am trying to explain what is this name. So what is this name now? Name is an attribute of what? Input tag. Name is an attribute of, first understand basics. Again, name is an attribute of input tag. All this is clear for you. Only two things are new to you. One is this name, which is an attribute of input. So what I am trying to do is, I am trying to give a name to this box. For this box, what I am trying to give the name? NAME. And for this box, what I am trying to give the name? PWD. Like this you can give any name. For your boxes, for the input fields, you have to give name. The reason is why because see, you'll be having, right now I'm having only two input fields. Later on you'll have 10, means many input fields. The user will be giving a lot of values to you. So now these are the values, when you submit, see these values, enter name, enter password, and when you submit it will enter into your program. So you need these values. So that is when you should know the values coming from which box now. Means you'll be writing some code here. Get me the value from NAME box, get me the value from PWD box. So write the code. Only then you'll get the value from the corresponding box. Otherwise so many values, how will you get it into your program now? So that is the reason we'll go on to give the value to the, name to the boxes. This is theory. When you see practical, very clearly you'll understand. So all the input boxes will have some name like this. All the input boxes. That is one thing. Are you clear with this now? Name. Theory is okay. Practical you'll understand. That is one part. The next, see what is this form tag now? That's the question. See the user, this is the first page now. As I told you, this is the first page. You'll submit it and you'll get this page now. Enter name, enter password, and you'll be submitting now. Once you submit, it has to go now and execute what now? Servlet. It has to execute on servlet. Which one? Login servlet. But you know that servlet will never execute without what? URL. The mandatory requirement for executing a servlet is what? URL. So now we are not going to type the URL now. Yes or no? In the first program we went on typing your URL, hello, hi. But now you will not be typing because the user will only looking into the screen first time. After that, see, you are getting the idea now? See this very clearly. First time he will make the request. After that, he will enter and give see the diagram what you have written. This is HTML file, login.html. This is the Java file. So he will not be typing the URL. He will only enter the values and press submit. Now URL has to be generated. So for the URL to generate, that is why you will be using what? The action attribute. Understood? And you have to give a value. What is that value you give? Supposedly the URL pattern I'll give it as cluster dot slash cluster. Means for my login select the URL pattern will be what now? Cluster. You can give any name, that's your wish, but I'll be making my URL pattern for login select as cluster. Now what is dot slash? That within next class you'll understand, you do not worry about that. Clear? And method is equal to, you give the value as get. This also you don't worry. Next class you'll be very clear with what is form tag. Form is on big tag, understood, and it will take some time for you to understand. So here in form tag there are two attributes I'm using. One is action and other one is method. So action attribute will help you to what? Action attribute of, clearly understand the statement, action attribute of form tag helps to generate the URL. This is what will happen now. Clear? So yes, now as soon as I enter now, automatically my URL will be generated now. What? As cluster. And it will execute login select. My pending thing is now to write what? Login select. So I'll write login select now. So when I write login select, it will execute. And now you have to do the mapping in web.xml. So remember, for always selects we do the mapping. Clear? So see this. I clear all this now. So let's write login select now. So how do you write the select? Shall I clear this folder structure? How do you write the select? Public class login servlet, same story. Whenever you want to write a servlet, there is no change, only extends what? HTTP servlet. Very simple story I got here. The next would be public void do get HTTP servlet request, HTTP servlet response, REQ, comma HTTP servlet response. Okay. Just understand, I'm not having space. What do I write? HTTP request REQ, comma HTTP. What will I do? HTTP servlet response. Now what? Throws servlet exception, IO exception. Same story will continue. I'll go ahead and show you this, don't worry. So now you want to do the output. What is the output now? HTML type. Response dot. Same story will continue now. So response dot set content type. Same story will continue. Text slash HTML. Then again print writer PW, write it full. Print writer PW is equal to response dot get writer. Yes, you remember this diagram. I am not having space here to write, but just remember the diagram. So the user will be giving this name and password this time, yes or no? And these values will be in this is your server. So these values will enter login select now. Done. So based on that, you'll be telling what? Welcome or not welcome. This is the second request what I am drawing. Yeah. So he is going to enter name and password and submit it. So the name of this box is what now? We are given NAME, and the name of this box is what? PWD. So you want the values on the box now? You want the input fields? Yes. Servlet technology will support that also. You want the input value in your program now? Yes. Just call one line. What is that? You know, string strname, this is a variable, is equal to request dot get parameter. Finished. You got your value now. Request dot get parameter name. Finished. So again string str pwd is equal to request dot get parameter pwd. Finished. So if you write this code, what is happening? See, whatever the user is typing here now, these values will be coming into your program now. Okay, it will be coming into your program, and I'm getting the value now, just one line. So Servlet technology is supporting with many features now. What are the different features? Input, output, networking, communication, that you have seen. It will support you with web support, standard API, that all you have seen. Now today you are seeing one more concept. What? Collecting input values. You have written it down. Advantage of Solid technology, collecting input values. That's it, one line you write. You got the value now. Think broadly again. Okay, whatever the user is giving to you is coming into your application now. So now after that, what is happening? You can write your logic. How do you write your logic? If strnme dot equals of Ravi, comma, and str pw dot, write it here, if strnme dot equals of Ravi and str pwd dot equals of Amog. Now you can do your output. What? Write the HTML code now. pw dot println HTML. Now write HTML code now. Write it. I'll just write it simple here. I will coding. I'll write it more. Welcome. Welcome, Mr. strnme plus you are welcome. I'll write. You are, hello Mr. Okay. Hello Mr. I'll append plus strnme plus you are welcome. This is your message, whatever you want to give. pw.println, close HTML. Again you write the else part. pw.println HTML. Now again write pw.println hello Mr. Same thing plus strnme plus you are not welcome. Not welcome, that's it. Close, that's it. pw.print, that's all. So your application is only over. You're having a massive requirement. Rest all is built in. So understand concept, that's why, because most of the things are ready-made here. So if you understand the concept, coding becomes easier. So this is the whole idea. Are you clear with this? Shall I clear all this? Shall I code you now? So when the user clicks enter, the URL called as cluster will be generated. Cluster has to be mapped now in web.xml. That web.xml is pending. URL pattern is cluster. It should execute the solid by name, any name you give. Supposing I give the solid name as login. It will execute the solid by name, login, and finally login solid.class will execute. Mapping is simple now. Got it now? Cluster. I'll give my solid name as what? Login. Login, login, login solid will execute. Very simple story. I clear all this now? So again I'll develop my web application. After completing my application, where I'll put? Server. Over. Rest all will be supported by Solid technology. So you got the assignment, fine. So let's start coding our web project now, web application. So what you do now? Right click, new, project, select what? Web, dynamic web project. Next, project name would be what? 02, simple app. Any name you want you can give. Simple app. Next, you click next. Again you click next. Then select this generate web.xml deployment descriptor. Then say finish. So web project will be created now. So all the folder structures will be created now. You can see here. Taking some time. So once it is created, see, this is how the folder structure will be there. This is the developer's view. Okay, fine. So you'll see many all these folders are there. Here what you do, first you go to web.xml. See this it has got auto generated code. So what you do here, only retain what you want. Only web app is needed now. Only that you retain. All these other tags you delete it off. And finally say Control A, Control Shift F. Now your web.xml is ready there. It's auto generated. Whatever unwanted tags are there, I deleted it. Fine. This is okay. Now close this. So let's start coding now. We have got a folder structure. So now to code first, I have to code which are now? HTML file. HTML file should be kept in what? HTML folder. So where do you create your HTML folder right now? So see this. Select web content. Web content you select. Okay. Right click and say new folder and give the folder name as what? HTML. See right now we are putting our HTML folder where now? In web content. This is developer's view. Look at that folder's view now. How it is. That folder structure. Do not worry. See by the time I put my application into the which one? 02 simple app into the server, it will be having this folder structure. Do not look at that folder structure now. Understood? So by the time you will put it into the server, it will be having this particular folder structure. Classes, lib, same it will be having. Who will do this? When you do export var now, when you do export var, Eclipse will take all these folders, okay, creates this required folder structure and compresses it and puts it as a var file into the server. I will be showing you this. Do not worry. But this is the developer's view. This folder structure what you are getting is the developer's view. That folder structure what you are seeing is the deployment. Means that's the folder structure needed for deployment. Done? So let's start coding now. In HTML folder, what you have to create now? HTML file. So let's create the HTML file. Carefully see this, sir. I'll select the HTML folder. Right click, new, other you select. And here, see when you select this other, you'll get all these options. Here you go to web. In web, scroll down and you'll find one option called as HTML file. Select that. Click next and say, give the file name now. What is the file name you want? Login.html and say finish. So some auto-generated code will come now. Do not worry. What you don't want, you can delete it. See these things I don't want. Head, title and all that, you can delete it. So then you can start coding now. So what you do now? So you can type like something. First you check whether it is working or not. This is the way. Don't code the full project what I have typed like that. So this is step by step how you have to code. I'll show you how to code now. So you can write like hello world. You just print something called as HELLO WORLD and body BG COLOR is equal to, I'll give it as wheat. Any color you want to give. I'm giving just light colors so that it will be visible. So your project is ready now actually. See this is a web project. It's already ready. And now what I told, you do not have to do mapping for HTML, right? So first check whether this project is working or not. See this now. I'll deploy this. You know how to deploy now? So this project is in what now? D drive Ravi Kumar folder. So this project I have to put it into what now? Server. So how do I put it into server? See this. Select the project. Okay. Then say right click, export, var, next, browse, which is the destination, web apps. Just say save and say finish. If you go and see there, the server is running still. Okay, if you go and see there, C drive, Apache Tomcat, web apps. So you got one is the var file. Okay, and it has also extracted what? 02 simple app. Server has extracted it. So you can see here in 02 simple app. See the folder structure in 02 simple app. I'll open. What is there? HTML web.inf. You are getting a required folder structure. So this is the deployment folder structure. Yeah. Again in HTML you are having what? Login.html. Perfect. It is. Then find next. In web.inf what you are having? Classes, lib. Understood? In classes I have not coded anything, that's why I am not having anything. If you write your Java class, it will be there. Lib also we have not added anything. So done? So web.xml also is there. So when you deploy, everything will be perfect. Done? So your application has been deployed. If you want, you can make the request now. How do you make the request? You start typing, open the browser. Okay, what is your URL now? http://localhost 8090.02 simple app. Yes or no? Slash, you know the URL, html/login.html. See, this is the URL. I put it in the notepad now and show you. See, this is for this project. This is the URL. But getting it now? Okay, fine. See this. Now I'll make the request. Login.html. Enter. Your HTML page is getting displayed. So first check whether your code is working or not. Then you continue coding because it's a big project now. So when you're coding big projects, start coding like this. Don't type everything and start getting errors and try to debug. Step by step start coding. Are you clear with this? So fine. So all this you understood now. Okay. So next we'll start coding our HTML file. So what did you understand here? HTML does not need what? Any mapping. So only for servlets or Java files we need mapping. So next. So hello world is okay. So if you want to retain this, I'll delete it. Then I start typing. What? Please. What is the code you have to write? Please enter your details. Then next, please enter your details. Then you need the table. Sorry, we need the form now. First we'll go with the form. So open the form, close the form. In this form, what are the two attributes? Action is equal to / cluster. Okay. Then method is equal to get. Done. Please enter your details. So then form is closed. Next, inside form, what you are doing? Yes, form. This is correct. Yes, inside this, what you are doing now? Table. Yes, let's start off with table now. Table. Close table. Then next what? tr. Fine. Inside the row, what do you want? Column. td. Here you can type. Please enter your details. Sorry, please enter your name. Or enter your name. We'll keep it simple. Enter your name. And next. Input type is equal to text. Name is equal to NAME. Fine. So this name is over now. Next you have typed for password. Enter your password. Input type is equal to password. Name is equal to PWD. Fine. Then one more row you need. For what? Submit. Input type is equal to submit. Value is equal to login. Fine. This also you align. Control A, Control Shift, F you do, it will align properly. So perfectly ready your HTML file. Clear? Now if you want, you can redeploy and check whether it is working or not. So for redeploying, what you have to do? Delete. So for deleting, what you do? First, shut down the server. Then next what? Delete. Even my app you delete. It's not required now. Whatever you don't want, keep the server clean. Okay, all the unwanted things you delete. Okay, then again what you do? Start. C drive, Apache Tomcat, bin, start. So your server is started. So once it is started, next what you do? Deploy it. You know how to deploy your simple app. How will you deploy? Select export, var, next, browse, save, finish. So now you can see in web apps what is there. It is there. So as soon as I start my server, what will happen? Server is running still. Yes, it has extracted it. Fine. Once it is extracted, now what will you do? It's deployed now. Okay, open a new browser. Open a new browser, make the request. See this? HTML is clearly getting displayed now. Perfect. Understood. So now what you want to do? If you want, you can give the value. See, if I enter name and password, something like this, what will happen? I'll enter Ravi and Amog. Check. RAVI. Okay. Then what is the value I have to give? Amog. Fine. AMOGH. Fine. So say enter login. This will say no. Just say 404 error. Why? Look at the URL how it changed. So I'll come again. Carefully see this URL. See, when I first make the request, see this is the first request. This is the first request. Understood? Follow this carefully now. So the first request, what will happen? This is how you'll make the request. Carefully see the flow. So your client is making the request, that HTML file is getting displayed from the server to the client. And if you want, you can see here this view, source, everything you can see, full content. That is okay, it is displaying here. But now if I enter my name RAVI and password AMOGH, am I typing my URL now? I am not touching the URL only. We are busy learning what? Using what? The screen. Now see this. I'll say login, but immediately see the URL how it changes there. Okay, as soon as I click login, see the URL, login, see there, it has changed. So the URL was automatically generated when you click what? The submit button. Now who is helping you to generate the URL? See the URL, I am copying and pasting. I am copying it, I have pasted it already here. See this. This is the URL, what got generated. Understood? So this is the URL, which is happening means in the second request. This is in what? Second request now. So in first request, this is what is happening. You get this. And in second request, this URL is getting generated. Look here, cluster is coming out now. So how did cluster come out? Because that was the value of action attribute in form tag. I told you enough. The value, what value you give to? I gave a statement. What is the statement I gave? The action attribute of form tag helps you to generate the URL. It is generating it. Along with that, values are also going. See there, Ravi and Amog. These values are also going. Okay. So this is how it executes. Are you clear with this? See the flow first. Coding will do. It's not a problem. Concepts you understand. Again I'll close. See this. I'll open. I'll first type what? First the HTML file. Make the request. This is the request. See, this is a new browser. Make the request. See, it is getting displayed here. If you want to see the resource, file, view source. See, this is the full content. It is displaying. And now what you can see here? This is on client side. What is getting interpreted and displayed? Form action is equal to / cluster is there now. And you can see name is equal to NAME, name is equal to PWD. All these are very important now. So this is the content which is getting interpreted and displayed on client side. We have got, actually this file is on what? Server side. When you made the request, the server gave back the response via what? TCP/IP. So it's coming to you. You don't have to worry. Fine. So now when you enter the values, so I'm entering the value in what? Ravi, I'm entering it in what? NME, the name of this input box is what? NME. And the name of this box is what? PWD. So whatever values you are entering now, they are getting carried. So see this, again I'm clicking login. See the URL, it changes. It has changed. It is not executing, that's a different story. Why? Because we have not written the mapping still. In your web.xml URL pattern is not there. Is there a URL pattern called as cluster? No, that's why 404 error is occurring. But the request is going now. Clear? So and you can see in the request, what is NME and PWD? See in the second request. NME is the name of the box and PWD is the name of another box. So whatever value was given in NME, it is carrying, and whatever name is given in PWD also, it's getting carried. So the duty of form, what does the form tag help you to do? This is very, very important. Form tag is doing two things. One, it helps Okay, or it generates the URL. Form tag helps to generate the URL. That is one advantage of form tag. Okay, and the second thing is it carries the request value. The form carries the request values from client to server. This is very, very, very important. That's why form tag is getting used. It will take one more day time to you for clearly understand what is form tag. Clear? So these are the two things what it is doing. The form tag. Are you clear with this much now? So next what you have to do, only coding is left is your servlet. You have to write the logic. Now for writing logic I cannot use HTML. Clearly understand. I wrote HTML for presentation now. If you want to do pure displays, use HTML. But if you want to write logics now, obviously you need a programming language, and that would be Java. This is how it will work. Shall I clear this now? So step by step, understand and code. Output you'll definitely get, but there's a lot to understand in concepts. If I had given you the steps to code, what would have you done? First step 1, step 2, you'd have written it and you would have got the output, and they are addicted to such kind of coding. I am not teaching you coding in that style. So step by step, please understand and code. It will be very helpful for you when you code bigger applications, and it will be helping you to resolve. So that's what I am telling you. I am not showing you coding for output purpose. I am showing you coding for learning purpose, how you actually code applications. Clear? Just a second, let the project switch on. So here everything is ready now. So we have to start coding our Java class. So how do you code now? Click on SRC, right? In SRC what will you do now? Create the package first. See this, you'll start getting errors here also. Right click, new, what? Package. What is the name of your package? com.cluster. Done? com.cluster, say finish. So inside this package you'll create what now? New class. What is the name of your class? Login servlet. Finished. So say finish. Then next what it should do? It should extend HTTP servlet. But you will get error. Definitely you will get what? Error. Why? Try to control space you do. It will not work. See the errors how I resolve. Understood? So what should I do now? I need a jar file. Which jar file? SolidAPI.jar. Yes, where did I have kept it? It is there in lib, but don't go to lib every day. That's why we kept it in what? My jars. Go to my jars, Solid jars, SolidAPI. Copy it. Come back. Paste it where? Lib. That's it. So once you put it, you are putting the jar file into your application. So once you put it, now you can say control space. What will happen? Did I put it or not? My jars, SolidAPI.jar. So add it and say control space, you will get it now. I had not copied it. So press enter. So add the jar, that's it. So add your jar into your, which one? Web project. So once you add it, next what happens? That error is gone. So now start typing what? Do get. You know how to type do get. Don't type all things now. Public void do get. Just type do get. Understood? Control space. You'll get the drop down. Press enter. All code will be generated. See how powerful Eclipse is now. Clear? So then you can delete all this. So once it is done, you can change this variable name. Generally you keep it as res. Everything perfect. Next what you have to do? Change protected to public. Change this method access to public. Yes, now start coding, it's over. Writing logic, that's it now. How will you do? Response dot set content type text slash HTML. Done. After that, next what? Print writer, same story will happen. Print writer, PW is equal to response dot get writer. Done. Now you want the value now. Start getting the value now. See, 1, 2 lines I'll write. I'll get all the values now. String str nme is equal to request dot get. So I've started using the which variable today? REQ. We are working with what today? So if you want the values from the request, just call request dot get parameter. So today we have started working with what? REQ variable, and it would be what? NME. That's it. It's better, do not type this. Better you copy from here and paste it. It is more recommended, because otherwise it's subject to errors, spelling mistakes, and you'll never get the output. So fine. Then next, string str pwd is equal to again request dot get. See how simple it is. Just one line you write, you'll get all the values only. Get parameter of what? Again, don't type. See, it's make it a practice. Why I'm making it to practice like this is, tomorrow your input fields now, they'll be having very big names. Today I'm using 3 letters NME PWD, you can remember and type. Okay, but sometimes you'll have 10 fields, 20 fields, and one field will have very big name like first name, last name, first address, second address, so big names there will be. So that time what will happen? It's subject to errors. One small spelling mistake also will not get the output. That's the reason, make it a habit from now only to copy paste all those which are input type 0 text. These values are there now. It's better you copy paste it. It's recommended you do like that. So fine. Next, you got your value also. Only you have tried what now? Logic. For that you can use Java's library. Which one? String library and all you can use now. So now I start typing if str nme dot equals, okay, I'll go with equals ignore case. I'll ignore the case and check. Equals ignore case of what? Ravi and str pwd dot equals ignore case of Ravi and Amog, no? OGH. Fine. So that's it. So you have to write your logic now. What logic you have to write? HTML logic. That's it. How will you write? pw dot print ln. Start off now again. So if it is correct, I'll be typing body bg color is equal to, give it in single quotes now, green. Hello Mr. plus you can append hello Mr. plus str nme plus, this is the output. What you want you can display. You are welcome. Done. So then next, this output you have done. But if it is not Ravi and Amog, you have to print not welcome also. So I'll use the else block. Else, now just I'll copy paste this. BG color is equal to red. I'll tell. If it is not correct, you are invalid user. Hello Mr. You are invalid user. Any message you want you give now. So this is how you write your code. Align it. Control Shift F you do. So this is how your code. See, hardly 4 or 5 lines I am writing for my web application. That simple your web application becomes now. Are you clear? So next pending is what? Mapping. Without mapping it will not work now. We have seen all that problem now. So what you have to do, you have to go to web.xml now. So web.xml is here. So you are not having the tags. So again, I would recommend not to type web.xml tags every day. You have typed once now, that is sufficient, because it's subject to a lot of errors. Why do you want to type it? Go to your previous project. From your previous project, what you do? Go to web.xml, copy paste those tags. See this, I'm copying this tag and pasting it here. So if you have the source, you can copy paste it. Recommended. Make your application development faster. Okay. So yes, now what is the name of your class? Login servlet. So yes, in web.xml what you'll do? Provide that name. Done. So what is the name you want to give to this servlet? Give it as login. Don't give it as ABCXYZ. Give some good name. You also have good names now. So like that you give good names to what? Your classes and files. So login servlet. So this is login now. Yes. Now what is the URL pattern here? Cluster now. Yes, that URL pattern you paste it here now. You know the URL pattern was getting generated. So paste it here. Then which servlet it should execute now? Huh? The mapping. If the URL pattern is cluster, it should execute the servlet by name what? Login. Yes, copy that and paste it here. Remember, always servlet name and servlet name should be same. URL pattern is what the client is going to type. Servlet name and servlet name should be same, and that's the class. So write this, you write your code, automatically start understanding now. Perfect, everything now. Only what you have to do? Deploy. Your web application is over. See this, I'll deploy it now. Right click. First delete the previous one. Shut down the server. Delete the previous one. It is there in web apps. Delete this. So once you finish deleting, again what you do? Deploy it now. Any changes you do, always you have to delete and deploy the new one. Browse. Simple. Finish. So once it is deployed, next what? Make the request. Open new browser. It's always recommended you open the new browser. I have to start the server. So how do you start it? It's deployed, but you have to start the server now. Go to bin startup.bat. Then next http://localhost. What is the name of your application? 02 simple app. Yes. /HTML /login.html. Done? See, this output you have got already, not a problem. Understood? And now I have to enter my name and password. Yes, you know the URL is getting generated. Everything you know now. Only it should execute that side. Yes? So I'm pressing login. See what happens. The URL is changing. The URL is changing. It's printing welcome. So if you go technically like this, you understood the flow. Directly if I had written the two files and shown you the output, what would have you understood? So think like this and code. What is happening? What is happening? And you can see now. Right click. View source. You're getting the response from the server side. Previously it was 404 error. But now it is not 404. The reason is resource was found, class got executed, and it is printing welcome. Are you clear with this flow now? Okay. Supposingly one more user. Okay. Means the same user will come now. But if he gives the wrong password, I'm opening Chrome now. Notice you can execute from any client. http://localhost. Okay. What is the name of your application? 02 simple app /HTML /login.html. Finished. Now see, I'll give a wrong password, Ravi, and password is something I'll give, cluster. In the URL you notice, the URL it will be displaying Ravi and password is cluster, but now not welcome. If I type it correctly, welcome, Ravi and Amog, welcome. Done? So this is how you start developing your web application. Very simple it is. Hardly I wrote two files, put it into the server, that's it. So imagine development of web applications has been done so easily today. Web application I am talking. Clear? So this is how the story starts. Are you clear with the flow now? Okay. Some more debugging tips I'll give you. See this one. Okay. See this. One more error I'll show you. So slowly start understanding these errors. Now I'm creating deliberately, but later on you'll be bound to face this. So start understanding clearly what happens. I'll close the browser. See this. I'll make the request. Some errors you start getting. Notice how you start getting the errors. Again I'll type http://localhost. See 02 login.html. Enter. It is displaying. Fine. Perfect. No problem. Silent. I'll not enter anything. Till now I was entering something. I'll not enter anything and I'll just press a what? login. See what happens. You are invalid user. Understood? Actually, you should get a null pointer exception. Fine, one second. So in IE, we are working it in IE. Okay, login. Okay, it's working fine. So like this, it starts working now. Fine, not a problem. And I'll show you the errors as they keep coming. I'll show you. Don't worry. Fine. Now coming to login servlet. See, one more debugging tip I'll give you. If you want to find out, okay, start using SOP. I'm showing you the usage of SOP. Till now you have used to what? System.out.println. But till now you're using that. But here we have started using what? pw.println. So let me print SOP and show you here. What happens? System sysout. System.out.println. Since I'm printing something, value of NME is, let me print and show you now, plus what is that? str NME. Done. So then next, after this I'll print even the other value. What is that? str pwd. So I'll print it. Let me show str pwd. So let me print it and show it to you. So any changes you do, what you have to do? Deploy it again. So go to stop the server, go to web apps, yes, delete these two, again say export, next browse, save, finish. Again what you have to do? Start the server. Okay, then deploy it, export, var, next, browse. It's deployed already, fine. It's already there, cancel. It's already deployed now, I deployed it. One second. Stop the server. Sorry. Web apps, I'll delete these two. Any changes you do, you have to redeploy. Now say export. Okay, fine, it is deployed now. Again you can start your server. So now you can make the request. I'm actually trying to show you SOP where it prints. See this, can you see this server startup in so and so? Till here it has printed. Now see what happens when I make the request. And we're making the request now. http://localhost 0 to simple app. Fine, this is output you're getting, not a problem. So now I'll type Ravi and amogh. Understood? I'm login. Fine, you're getting this output, that is okay. But look carefully here. In the server you go now. Value of NME is Ravi, value of PWD is Amogh. You can see this now. So whatever you do, SOP, system.out.println, it is printing to what? Server console. pw.println is printing to what? Socket. This system.out.println will print to server console. pw.println will print to socket. From socket, TCP IP will carry that. So there's a huge difference between print writer here and which one? System.out.println. Print writer is connected to socket. So it will always be writing to the socket only. Which one? Print writer. Done? So fine. So this is how you will start using system.out.println. Okay? So like this you finish all this. So what is the concept you understood now? What are the concepts I covered now? Output is okay. Output is okay. But what are the concepts I covered? See the concepts first. So I showed you, the concept what I showed you was, if you want to write plain, if you want to do plain display, simple display, that is called a static display. If you want to do static displays, better you go for what? The different concepts in this program. Okay, is if you want to do static display, use what? HTML. If you want to do dynamic display, what will you use? Servlet. Yes or no? Some logic you want right now. So that is when you start using servlet. First this one concept. Then next, I showed you navigation. How did I show you navigation? How does it go now? How do you go from HTML to, I showed you navigation from what? HTML to servlet. How it goes. Understood? Still very clearly I'll be explaining you this in the next class. So there are a lot of concepts you are learning. Coding is simple here. So go on learning concepts. Clear this? So fine. And this assignment, that assignment, write a web app to verify username and password. Hard coded. So I'll clear 1 second. Just a second, project is switching on. See about this flow. Okay, still more things I'll be explaining in the next class very clearly. Still more things. Here, end of the day, finally, mapping you have to understand properly. Write your code and do mapping, you'll start getting the output. So this file, what I have written, what I'll do for your reference purpose, I'll be actually, it is right now here, I've kept it on desktop. I'll copy this and put it into what? Along with your project. So for you, when you use this source code, it will be here. Check this out. I'll be putting it into what? This project here, assignment.txt. The first request and all that you can refer if you want. So like this I'll be giving many assignments and all I'll be putting with the projects only. Okay. So all this you have understood. Now carefully let's come and see the concept here. One more concept. See this. Now let me try to make the direct request to what? Servlet. Let's see what happens. Till now how are you making the request to your servlet? With URL name, no? The first example, how did you make the request to your servlet? Hello. First select, how did you execute? Hello. Second select, how did you execute? Hi. So same thing I'll try to do. See here. http://localhost 8090. I'll not go via HTML. I'll decide to go with what? Via cluster. Correct now? Valid only now. URL is there. So let's see what happens. You got an error. What is the error you know? Cluster I am typing. Notice here, null pointer exception. What happened? See, actually you have to understand. Here, cluster when you say no, it is actually URL is going. Okay, this is the URL now. See this URL. So what is the URL I type now this time? As cluster directly. So when I type this, yes, URL, name, the class is identified, yes or no? The class was identified, which is the class? Login servlet. But it failed to execute. Why did it fail to execute? Because you didn't give any value. The values are only not going in the URL. So when the values are not going in the URL, request or get parameter of NME and PW, it will never get the value. So it does not get the value. What is the value of strname and strpwd? Null. It is null. So when you say null dot equals ignore case of what? Means you are trying to call a method on null object. So obviously you'll get what? Null pointer exception. And I had done SOP, remember? See this if you want. Go to the server console and check. What it is it printing? This time. Null and null. Clear? So if you want to execute the servlet, you can give the value. See now I'll directly execute my servlet. Clearly understand this. I'll directly execute my servlet. With what? This URL. See, it will execute now. If you want, you can execute your servlet with this URL. Directly it will execute. See all this. More things I'll be talking on next class. Clear? Enter. See this. You're getting the output. See the URL how it works. If you give the NME and PW, it is working. Yes, directly it is working. How it is working now? Cluster is what? URL. NM is what? The value. PWD is the value. I am not going via HTML now. I am directly making the request. See here carefully. I am directly making the request to what? The servlet. But if you want to make the request to the servlet, you have to give what? NME value and PWD value. Press enter, it will display. If it is correct, it will display welcome. If I give the password as some wrong password like something ABC, so what will be the answer now? Not welcome. So this is how it will go on executing. Are you clear this flow? Understand the flow. More things are there for the next class. Clear? So fine. This is how it is getting executed now. And all this flow is okay. Now last thing to tell now. See, after this you develop this project today. This is sufficient for the day. Okay. So but some point before I conclude the class now, some more notes I'll give you. See, according to you, web application means always what? www dot only, no? According to you, web application means what always? www dot. So that is what I'll explain now. See, like this, I developed my web application. So slowly what you'll do, you'll develop your application and put it into what? You're right now putting your application into your server here. Which server? Here it's a stimulated environment, which means the server, the client are all in the same machine. But later on, after you develop your application, if you want to make it available to World Wide Web, means in the internet, okay, you can do it still. So how will you do that? See, first we will develop our application. After completing the development of our application, what we do, definitely you'll be putting it in a server. That is a known fact. You'll be putting it in a server. Okay, like this. And your server will be in a computer. And your computer will have an IP address now, finally. So you got your hardware. In your hardware you got operating system. In the operating system you'll install server, which on Tomcat or something. And in the Tomcat server you'll put your application. That is a setup what you'll do. Fine. After that, after you do this much of setup, next you'll contact one person by name, domain naming, server. See, all the steps you are taking for what? See the heading, hosting an application in internet or World Wide Web. So you'll contact these are the people who control the internet actually. So here what happens, you will contact them and ask them, is there a domain space available for cluster? Means what is the meaning of that statement? Means domain space means, has anybody else taken that domain space? That's the meaning. Okay, if it is available, you can take it, you can book it. So if you book it, what will happen? They'll register your domain space name with your IP address. Whatever IP address your computer will be having now. See here for Gmail, what is the IP address? 27. It is registered. Similarly for your, supposing I am developing cluster application here, and my IP address would be something like this. Let's say 192.2.5.26 or something. So that what you will do, you will register now cluster. You will be registering it as what? 192. Whatever this. You will ask them, and if they say the space is available, you will register it. Now anybody types www.cluster.com. See, www when you type now, first it will be connected to which one? Domain naming server. From there it will be routed to what? Your computer. And in your computer it will work. So finally that's how your application will be running in internet. So as a developer, our duty is to only develop the application. These all things, setting it and all will be taken care by some other person in the company. You don't worry about that. But when you go to company, your duty is to develop web application. Just I gave you an idea how a web application is finally going to be coded and put into the internet. Clear this now? Simple information I have given to you. So here they'll type now www.gmail. See the communication, how it starts off now. So they'll type, as soon as they type gmail.com, it is connected to what? Domain naming server. So there the IP address will be resolved. It will connect to their computer. And the communication between your client and server will start off. When the client, and how are they communicating? Using HTTP request and HTTP response. It's a big world. It's a huge internet world. So what values you give, what values you come, response, all will be happening what? Via TCP/IP. And this what is HTTP request, HTTP response? We'll be discussing this in the next class. Are you clear with this? So learn all these concepts. More things we'll be seeing in the next class. So this is how finally a web application will be deployed now. We'll make it bigger. So first we are learning the basics. We are trying to in fact get errors and learn. The reason is what, when your application becomes bigger and bigger, there you should not get all these silly errors. And coding should be comfortable there. So that's why I'm showing you simple programs and making you get adjusted to programming. So once you're comfortable, 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, then from the 4th day we'll start making our application little bigger. Done? So what is your role now? Don't worry about all this, sir. Your role is, don't worry about domain naming server and all. That will be taken care by someone in the company. Your duty is to only develop the web application. See how much of infrastructure is ready-made for you? 99.99% everything is ready-made. Only they are asking you to write what? Business logic of your application. That's the business logic. Verifying your username and password was a simple logic I wrote now. So all these people are telling only one thing, loud and clear. What? Just concentrate on your business logic. So done? So fine. So this is a simple diagram, and there's some explanation to this diagram. See here. When you hit the browser with some URL, first request will be given to what? Domain naming server. First request will be given to domain naming server. In DNS server, domain will be reserved for IP address, and then request would go to the server where the application is running. Once server receives the request, it processes the request and sends the response to the client. Server identifies the client IP address from the HTTP request. The client will be sending the IP address. Server will be getting it, and similarly it will give back the response to the same IP address, but the content of the file will be going via TCP/IP. That's how it works. So in the World Wide Web, the communication between the client and the web server is happening with HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. That's the next protocol which I will be explaining to you now. Everything is ready-made. See, we are understanding the subject, but as a role, what is our developer's role? It's very simple here. It's very simple. So understand the full concept. Our role is very minute here. We are just writing the business logic or application logic. Apart from that, nothing else is there. Fine. And lastly, coming to a servlet, what is the advantage of using servlet today? See here, 5 points I have covered. With example I am covering one by one. The main features and advantages of using servlet technologies are what? Web support, then standard API, then input output, networking. Today what did you see? Collecting input values. Request or get parameter, you're getting the value. That's it. Concentrate on your logic. That's what. What is the logic? Verifying username and password. So are you clear with all this? Okay, that's it then.